Hey, what's up, students? Let's do the wet drip drop. Okay, give the fifth and sixth term of each geometric sequence. As you can see, I already have some options down here just to save time from typing. So let's go ahead and go over the calculator and see what's going on here. So to find a geometric sequence's common factor or common ratio is you want to take a new value divided by an old value. I'm going to go ahead and use the most recent ones. I'm going to take the 1, 2, 3. I'll take the third and the fourth one. So if I go fourth piece divided by third piece, okay, I'm going to get the common ratio. Boom, it's 2. Oh, these things are just doubling. Times 2, times 2, times 2. Okay, so if I know that, I would take 162 times 2 and then take that number, 324 times 2. Okay, there we go. I've got the fifth and the sixth term in that sequence. So here you go, buddy. And there you go, buddy. Again, how did I do that? You want to take a new value divided by an old value. New divided by old is the best way to find the common factor or the common ratio. So all I'm doing is I'm just taking the fourth divided by the third. I would have done the same thing if I took 81 divided by 40.5. A 2. Okay. If I took 40.5 divided by 20.25. A 2. So once you find that common factor, you apply it to the fourth term to get the fifth, and then you apply it to the fifth to get the sixth. All right, fractions are a little bit creepy. Basically, all I do is I cheat a little bit. I just kind of look at the denominators. If the numerators are all 1, I'm just asking myself what's happening to the numerator. I just said that. The denominator, okay? So 3 to 12 to 48 to 192. Let's take the most recent. How do you go from 192 from 48? Oh, you take it times 4. Now, since that's happening on the bottom, okay, what's the word I'm looking for here? The common factor would be 1/4. All of these are being taken times 1/4. So watch this. If I take 1 over 192 and then I multiply by 1/4, it's going to, ew, gross. Can I convert to a fraction, please? Oh, look at that. It's that guy, okay? Or if you understand what's happening to the denominators, just keep doing that to the denominator. So understanding that 1 over 92 times 1/4 is basically the same thing as 1 over 192 times 4. Okay, look at that. There's a 7/68 right there. So you're going to be 1/768. And then if I take that number times 4, oops, here we go, 768 times 4, I'm going to get 1/3072nd. There we go. My Lisp is kicking my butt. Okay, so again, be careful with fractions. If it's just a 1 on top, just do the math with the denominators. Everything will be okay. Now, this one is flipping and flopping back and forth between a positive and a negative, then a positive and a negative. So let's go ahead and see what's going on here. It looks like I'm going to take the fourth term, which is 128, and divide by a 1024. Ooh, a negative what? Oh, a negative 1/8. Now, negative 1/8, that's the same thing as just dividing by a negative 8. Okay? So if I take 128, oops, excuse me, a negative 128, and I divide by a negative 8, that's the same thing as taking it times a negative 1/8. Okay? Just to prove it, 800 times a negative 1/8 is the same thing as 800 divided by a negative 8. Okay, same thing, times a negative 1/8 divided by a negative 8. Same thing. It's kind of like when you chop something in half and divide by 2. 500 divided by 2, 500 times a half. Okay, same thing. Okay, anyway, so divide by a negative 8. Divided by is actually a little bit quicker than multiplying by a negative 8 because you can just type it in your calculator faster. And everybody likes that. Okay, all done. Careful with those because this one switches back and forth between a positive and negative, and then you'll be good to go. All right, that's the wet drip drop.